All right, everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how we fully assemble this streaming setup. That way, in the event that you need to bring it home or adjust anything in the classroom, you're going to be able to take it apart and put it together all by yourself. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, now that we have everything unboxed, let's take a peek at what we have here. Obviously, we have the monitor right here, the monitor screen itself, followed by the base for the monitor to sit on, the stand over here, and then we have a couple cables. This one here is going to be the USB cable that we plug into the monitor and then also into the computer. This is what's going to allow us to essentially use the monitor kind of like a USB hub. So we're not going to need any other USB hub. In some of the following videos in this series, you're going to notice a USB hub, but I want you to go ahead and disregard it because we actually went ahead and chose a simpler setup. The same monitor, the same camera, the same speaker, but the hub instead is actually built into the monitor. So it's going to really save you some troubleshooting and save you an outlet and kind of just make the whole experience a little bit more streamlined. We also have a power adapter for the monitor, followed by your Bluetooth wireless speaker and microphone. It also does have a wired option as well, which we can plug into the monitor. And then also our webcam right over here. So how we're going to go ahead and get this started is we're going to take this base or this stand right here, and it actually goes right into the base just like so. And then if you flip it over, highly recommend you do this two-handed. But if you flip it over, you're going to see this screw here at the bottom. And we're going to kind of flip this part up and turn it clockwise. And it will lock the stand into the base, and you'll be good to rest the monitor on top. Once it's on there nice and tight, you can flip it back over, stand it up, and you'll see that there are two little prongs right here. And the monitor is going to kind of slide down into it and then lock into place. You can see me in the reflection there. I've got the monitor onto the stand itself. So we're just going to kind of, you can see we peer over the side. It's in there. We're just going to kind of rock it back and it will lock itself in. And you'll notice this is all nice and flat now. So let's go ahead and get this monitor set up and we'll start playing with some of these cables. So I've got the monitor set up on this table, and you want to make sure that you place it somewhere where the camera, once it sits on top, is going to be able to capture most of the room here. It's a pretty wide angle lens on this monitor. So let's go ahead and grab our camera, and you'll notice that on the bottom part, it kind of folds out just like so. And then this part folds around, and it's going to kind of brace up against the rim here. So I'm going to try to center that in the display. That's pretty good. Maybe over a little bit to the right. And then we'll just make sure that this part here kind of sits like flat. You'll see that gap there. There we go. And then we're going to take this USB cord and plug it into one of the ports under here. You'll see that they're kind of blue. So we'll plug it right into there. And because this monitor, again, is going to act as a USB hub. And then we're going to do the same thing with our speaker. So we'll come over here and grab our speaker, grab our USB cable. And again, you can use the speaker wirelessly. So if you want to use it Bluetooth, go ahead and watch the video on how we do that. And then right under here, you're going to notice there's another plug. I'm just going to plug that right on in. And now we have the monitor, the speaker, and the camera all plugged in. We'll grab the power cable for the monitor itself, plug that in as well. And that's going to go right over here. We're going to plug that right in. And then lastly, we have the USB cable. Now, if you notice, one end of this is way more square than the other one. This is the one I'm referring to here. This is the one we're going to plug into the back of the monitor, while the other end is going to plug into the computer. It's going to plug in kind of right next to the other ones. They'll form a nice little line. And then we need to grab a mini display to HDMI cable. So let's get that started. So this is the cable we're looking for. One end over here is going to go into the computer while the other end goes into the monitor itself. So let's go ahead and get those plugged in. Right on that section where it says HDMI is where the cable is going to go. So we'll get that cable seated. And then the other cable is going to go right into the side of the computer next to our USB. Once we get it plugged in properly, the screen will flash. And you'll have an image here, and then also here. on the big screen. Next, we want to make sure that we uncover the lens cap for the camera. Now that we have that lens cap off, we're going to walk on over to our computer over here. Let's just go over to the Apple logo here and go to System Preferences. And then we're gonna let's go to sound first. We wanna come over here because we wanna set what our sound comes in and out of. So let's go with in, and let's switch this over to our awesome speaker right here. It's gonna be the CP900 right there. And then we're gonna go over to output, and we actually want the sound to come in and out of the same device. So we don't have to worry about getting any feedback within the room. And remember, you can use this speaker Bluetooth as well. So make sure you go back and check out the video for how to pair that on Bluetooth. So now that we have those two things set up, we can actually come over to our sound effects section here. And I'm gonna just make sure that sound is coming out of that as well. And let's just go ahead and give this a listen. And you can hear a few different sounds coming out of that. And then let's fire up the Photo Booth app. The reason I do that is because it's a quick app to be able to pull up our camera, and you're gonna see me right there. And if you see yourself in Photo Booth, we're gonna go up to camera over here and we're going to flip it to the other option here for the camera. Once that loads, you'll see that it is here on the screen, and it's that wider view. And of course, the camera is on top of the monitor. So it's all about positioning where you think might be best. And the nice thing is you can actually kind of move the camera a little bit, slide it around so that way it gets a little bit of a better view of the room. So however, whatever works for you. And then that's going to allow you to be able to use this camera in Google Meet, whether you're using it in Zoom. Just make sure that you go into the camera settings for both of those apps and choose the camera. And what you're going to be looking for is this UVC 30. And that's pretty much all you need to do in order to make sure that you are using your speaker, your camera, and your display, in the classroom. And then you can go through and you can watch these other videos. But remember, keep in mind, the only thing that's different in the following videos is that we're not using any type of hub here. We're going right from the display to this USB hub, to this USB cable. It's going to run. It runs through this little bit of a nest here of cables, and it runs right into the display itself. And then we have a few USBs here, which our speaker and our camera is plugged into. And you even actually have a few here on the side that you could use, which is super helpful, as well as a couple on the back. And if, of course, you have any questions setting this up, using any of the equipment together and making it all work, by all means, send us an email over at tech@sch.org.